Hello, everybody. It's Dark Knight 316. This is the Roundtable Podcast, episode 15. And I'm here with Robert Wheeler Gaming. Today, we're going to see what we have to drink, what um, our reaction is to the Nintendo Direct. There's only two games that stand out that we're going to actually look at. And then after that, we have the Xbox handheld. They released the prices of the Xbox handheld. And then we're gonna see also, let's see what else.
I hear this ad.
Ad blocker.
It's like you can't just close it up and you gotta
Well,
keep
we're
showing.
continuing on what we were playing.
Mhm.
So, what'd you bring today?
So I got this one Bang Sour Ropes.
And then he brought me this Monster Juice Energy, the mango loco.
Yeah, be careful or something.
Yeah, no,
What is it? Like a wrapper?
it's the wrapper from yours. And then I'm drinking it in the WB Batman mug.
I brought back my Bad Guys Don't Win. So
Um, so it's the reference to Reza Ramon. Oh, this is kind of chilled, so it'll be better.
if we sound tired, we just got back from vacation.
Alrighty.
Cheers. There you go.
All right, so continue on in our retro corner of what we've been playing. Well, I've been trying to finish off Grandia 2, and I'm pretty much like 1/4 away of platinuming the game. I've already done almost all the story beats. I have the optional dungeon to complete to get the rest of the items to get the platinum. Because in this one, they have it for the trophy. You have to get specific accessories or items or weapons to get the trophy. Whereas in Grandia 1, you just had to get the mana eggs and pick up like the weapons and stuff like that. So um, I'm enjoying this game here. This is the one I remember more than Grandia 1. And half the time I'm thinking Grandia 2 is Grandia 1 when he was asking me last time about it. And I'm like, yeah, you get an airship. You don't get an airship in Grandia 1. You ride on a Stingray, but that's it. But that's not like a airship. And in Grandia 2, you really don't get an airship per se, but like you ride on an airship, but you don't get to control it like a traditional role playing game. Uh, but yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't decided on what I'm gonna play next, but right now I'm just focusing on playing Grandia 2. What about you?
No, the game you should be playing next, what I'm currently playing, is Octopath Traveler. Now, I know we're going to be talking about the new Octopath Traveler in a bit, but so far in Octopath Traveler, I've been enjoying it. I just played some yesterday when we got back, and it's a phenomenal game. I'm enjoying just how much you can like. I'm trying to get the optional classes, but I'm not strong enough yet. So I'm running over there to try to be able to build up just so I can be able to play it. And I just got my third character, so I'm super excited. Just trying to get through that game as much as I can with the time that I have. So it's a fun game.
So anything else you're gonna play after that, or you're just gonna focus on Octopath Traveler?
Well, what's probably going to happen is because right now I got three RPGs I'm going for. Grandia, trying to finish up. Eiyudenchroniclehundredheroes, I'm trying to finish up. And I have Octopath Traveler. Problem is going to be is by the time I finish Octopath Traveler, Final Fantasy Tactics
Mm-hmm.
remake is coming out, so I'll be going into that instead. So
You'll
I
hear
probably won't finish the
our
game.
reactions to that and like how far we are in our gameplay on that because the way it looks like it's probably gonna be pretty good. But so our next story there is Nintendo had a direct, Most of the games were just okay. The two that stood out to us were from the people that made Octopath Traveler, or at least that's what they want you to assume with this Adventures of Elliot. Now, this game here, we'll look at the little play of the game.
We had it going for a little bit as we were
Yeah.
talking, but
Like this one here, when I first saw this trailer here, I thought it was Octopath Traveler, like a sequel to it, because it has that 2D, 3D type
mhm.
look on it. It made it where it seemed like, you know, the gameplay of it. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
Well, I wonder
Another
if they're trying to make
um,
this like a Secret of Mana. I'm reading a little bit of it. I can't read most of it because of my glasses. But it says while the Adventures of Elliot looks like Octopath Traveler and Live Alive
mhm,
and other HD 2D turn-based games of recent years, the gameplay is different. It's an action RPG instead of having a party.
yeah,
You control Elliot and his fairy companion Faye. Faye? I don't know
mhm,
what that one is. Elliot can wield 7 different weapon types, all of which has different abilities and effects, and he can upgrade them using magic crystals that he finds on his travels.
Magic State.
Faye can also attack enemies on her own, either controlled
Mhm.
by the player or a second player in co-op. So that's where it kind of reminds me
Of Secret of
of
Mana.
Secret of
Uh
Mana
huh.
just because of the 7 different weapon types.
Well, not just that, but because of your solo and the elemental.
And can you remember at the beginning of Secret of Mana, even though you had the other players you could play in co-op,
Mhm.
you still only really controlled basically just the one person.
Yeah, and the way they're looking here, since it's an action-oriented uh, game, it's like Secret of Mana, where you're going into dungeons, you see the enemies, and you just attack them up on the screen, and that's how you beat the bosses and stuff like that. So it looks really good on there. The different weapons and stuff like that, kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy 16
Mm-hmm.
with Clive having the different weapons. So each magic site's probably going to be like a different element.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be like that. And I wonder if Faye is going to have different elemental abilities with her.
No, I think the one thing we're gonna notice here though is I think that they're gonna have a like a hard mode.
Hmm.
So they're definitely gonna have something like that on this game.
Or like a boss rush
Boss
type
rush, something
one.
like that. This
Hmm.
actually kind of reminds me of
East
East
Origins.
Origins,
Yeah. It
like when
does
you're
kind of
running
remind that
around
too.
and stuff like that and doing stuff like that.
But
But like that boss looks pretty cool.
this definitely looks like how you're saying Secret of Mana.
Hmm.
It does do like that. You just don't have any extra
You just don't have, and
players.
I mean the demo's out. I'm gonna download the demo probably on the Switch 2 after this, just so I
Hmm.
can
Play it and try to
just so
get
I can lay in bed and play.
so then you can give us the reaction next time.
Yeah,
Give us
I can talk
your
about the
opinion.
demo because it says
Hmm.
debut demo's out now, but
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
it does. And I don't even have a Switch,
Yeah.
and I think it looks pretty good on there.
So let's I pulled up this one. I'll X out of this one here. Let's see
Okay.
if I can full screen this bad boy here. Oh, you know what? Square Enix. I don't have the video on this one, do I? I was actually just looking at the. Is the video here? I can't see.
I don't, but this looks like
But
what's
this was
available
from
for
their
pre-order.
homepage. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll go to here first.
You want to see what's
Yeah.
available for homepage?
So they
Okay,
say
so
here that if you if you didn't know, the next one that they revealed was Octopath Traveler Zero. And in Zero, you get to create your character. You can create your character how you want it to look, and you'll get parts like hats and stuff like that, and weapons to upgrade your character. Well, with the pre-order on here, if you just do the standard edition, you just get the physical or digital version. It's just standard. You don't get anything. The digital deluxe edition, you get the base game, the travel provisions, digital art book, and the deluxe travel provision. So basically, what you get is a triple skill mastery ability, the SP saver mastery ability, extra JP mastery, consumable. You'll get
all those look like
yeah,
stat
you get
building ones.
eight nuts for each of your stats
That's what it
that you
looks
have.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then what's different in this one from the other Octopath Travelers is your town gets destroyed and you have to rebuild your town. Kind of giving me White Knight Chronicles vibes,
That'd be
and
pretty
so you
cool.
get a table with roasted chicken, a festival art, large festival, festive arch, festival flag, and a grand vase. And then the collector's edition also comes base game, physical collector good, digital deluxe upgrade. So they show you right there of the digital items that you get on here.
Now, my thing is the collector's edition. I looked this up. I'm a fan of this series. I don't think you spend the money on it though. I wanted to get it, but it was $229 when I looked it up on the Square Enix site to buy for Octopath Traveler, and I'm a fan of the series, and I was not buying that as much as I had to talk myself out of it of wanting to get it. It's just sad because I don't you see in mine I have those chess pieces that they have from Octopath Traveler 2 when they brought it out, but it's like they don't.
There's the announcement trailer.
You see the announcement trailer here?
Up, yeah, right there.
But it's like they just,
when you shop in the Albertsons app,
so that's what
you can count on delivery in as soon as 30 minutes.
I didn't want to.
Even if you can't count on your guest list.
There we go. I wanted to be able to
In the beginning,
watch it,
there was nothing.
get it, but
Everything began with the birth of Orsa, mother of all. She created our world, the land of Orstera.
there we go. Okay. So those are the scenes from the first one. Is this the first game? Oh yeah. So click I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Oh, you missed the 0 one.
It's right
In
here.
the beginning,
Yeah.
there was
Sorry
nothing.
about that. I was
Everything
like,
began with the
Yeah, 'cause when I
birth
hit
of
the,
Orsa,
the button,
mother
Yeah, 'cause it's
of
the
all.
exact-
She created our world,
I've
the
been watching,
land of
videos for the first
Orstera.
one, so that's funny.
So yeah, here we thought it was 3, and then they wrote.
So my thing is for the prequels, I don't like prequels.
Discover the latest installment in the Octopath Traveler series. You are the protagonist of this story.
My only concern is what I also don't.
We've
like
come to
being
join your little
character.
lighting ceremony.
So
with some
I don't know
fire
how
of our
to
own.
spend. I'll probably just have to
Start from zero and restore your hometown with your companions.
I wish I could see everyone here, laughing and smiling just one more time. Whichever path you decide to take, just know that I'll be right there, beside you.
But see, what I like about
Goodness.
this,
Isn't it high time you stop trying to do everything on your own?
Please, bring peace to Wishville. I'll help.
Build a town of your very own.
This like Dark Cloud.
Engage in new battles with parties of up to 8 characters.
We're in this together. Please and thank you!
Time to teach you a lesson. Witness a tale of beginnings that unfolds across Orstera.
World building.
Octopath Traveler 0 is available on December 4th.
We were showing all that stuff for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, from just a little bit of your thoughts, so this game's coming out now. I've already pre-ordered it, just the standard edition. I already forget where I pre-ordered it.
but it comes out for PS4, PS5. When you see that PS5, PS4, that means physically the PS5 version is available, and the PS4 is only available digitally. If it was switched the other way, that means that PS4 would have a physical copy. Doesn't mean that they won't make a physical copy. It just means that in most retailers, they will not have a physical copy of PS4. Now, if like that, other game companies create one for like the limited run games and stuff like that, that'll probably be the only way that you'll get it. But most of it, so if you go on like the network, you'll get the PS5 and 4 version. They're just going to be mostly promoting the PS5 because that's all.
Now, I think you get the PS4 version if you are a trophy hunter. I think you get that because More than likely your saves transfer over, things like that. But if you're looking just at like not a trophy hunter, you actually just want to like play the game, I would say just get on PS5 and go through that. But overall, this game, from the little bit I had, I would give you my thoughts on it. Is one, like I said, I don't like to create my character. I feel like especially when they put like extensive create your character and things like that, like to me it's just too much. I usually hit like random and then I'm good to go. Two, I don't know about the town building. It seems interesting, but I feel like it's going to be tied into a lot of what your stats are going to be like. So if you want better like items, better weapons, and like things like that, or even better, like I have this feeling that because they didn't talk about it much, but I have this
No,
feeling
they
like
just showed the trailer.
if you build your town up, you could get like +1 in defense or something like that. That's what I have the feeling what it's going to be like. That could be interesting. I think being able to like build a better relationship with your towns and things like that. So I think it could be interesting in that portion.
I think it's gonna be like like I don't mind creating your character for it because that's what they did with the Dragon Quest games. You create your main hero, and in the earlier ones, you created all 4 of the characters on there. So I don't really mind too much about that. With the town building, I see it as you have to build up the town. They have to be kind of like Dark Cloud, where they have to be a specific order that they want to be next to whatever there, and then that builds up your shop. So it's like, okay, you're gonna do your shop, but then you have to upgrade the building. You're gonna need lumber and stuff like that. So it's gonna probably be like a lot of grinding.
Yeah.
To go get.
This game is a good grind. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't really like that. But
because right now for the first one, because that's what I'm comparing it to what I'm playing. It's like I'm trying to get. I think it's the sorcerer class, but I have to be at level 25. I'm like level 17 right now. So it's like I'm grinding out too because I don't want to continue the story to get the next character until I at least want to get another class like what I'm trying to do. So it's one of those where I need to build up my characters, but I'm walking around trying to go to the different areas and build up and things like that. So that's like the fun part about it. So I think if you need to grind out, the only thing you're gonna have problem is like the RNG of
that's what dropping. That's what I was gonna say.
Materials.
It'll probably be like you have to kill like 20 wolves, and you're gonna need like the meat from that.
Yeah.
And you may drop like you fight the 20, you may drop 2, but you need like 6 of them to upgrade your item shop and stuff like that to get the more powerful stuff. So if you need more powerful, you have to do a lot of grinding. It doesn't really show too much of like outside of that kind of stuff. So I don't know if there's gonna be like a last boss per se. I mean, probably there will because you'll probably find out who set the fire to that village.
Yeah.
And you'll probably go and fight them.
And I bet you it's probably some kind of war going on. That's usually how these games are. It's like some kind of war. They want to take over this town, and then you're going to fight. But somebody who hasn't played the game, the series of Octopath Traveler, what are your thoughts on whether or not would this bring you in of wanting to play the game? Or are you thinking I'd start at 0 because it's prequel and then work my way through 1 and 2? Or what are your thoughts?
I don't mind if they make a prequel after the ones. I would start the first one anyway. It looks cool to me because it reminds me of the old school Final Fantasies, kind of like when we had the pixel remasters.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of that. And from what I hear from you about grinding, that's all I do in RPGs is I try to grind more than what the requirement is. So if it says this zone is level 25, I'm gonna try to be higher than 25 by the time I go to that zone and do it, so then I can pretty much one shot any of the people. I usually back in the day after I beat Final Fantasy VII for the OG PlayStation, I would grind at the train station with just Cloud and Barret, and I grind there, and I didn't know at the time that your limit breaks were tied to how many enemies you defeated, how many battles and stuff. I thought it was what level you were at. So I was grinding it. And then when I got the limit level,
the other one,
limit level 2 on there, I was like, oh, cool. And by the time I got to limit level 3, part 2, I was at like almost at like level 50, 60 level at the very beginning of the game. So when I went and I fought that boss there, the no, we don't need the password. When we went to go fight the boss, that I think it was the called the guard scorpion. No, because you put there, just keep it on that. When it was the like the
Picking an account. I want no account here. Okay. We're gonna go someplace else and look it up.
Yeah,
because
check it on that one. But like I said, when you fought the guard scorpion, I was able to use the cloud limit level 3 and pretty much destroy him in like a hit or two. And so that's why I was like, oh, grinding there was fun. And then so when I was able to have that and also Barrett had it, then any of the characters that I got afterwards pretty much had the same thing on there. Let's do the trailer.
I want to see the price. Let's see if they had. So there we go between this and last.
But yeah, so I don't mind the grind. I know a lot of people complain about grinding, especially like nowadays, because most of the games now they hand it to you, where they like have an easy mode so that you can just play the easy mode, which I get, because sometimes a lot of people don't have time to go and do the grind, so they make it where it's easy for you to get through the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I also understand the point of you're not going to get good. You're not going to be better. But also the people that go and say, "Oh, just get good," and stuff like that. Like some people are just playing just to play. They're not trying to compete in some type of tournament or trying to be like CM Punk being the best in the world kind of.
But there's some of the people who are like just get good. They've got all the free time in the world to get
or that's
good.
the only game that they play.
It's like the rest of us, we got stuff to do. And
and so sometimes we just want to just come back from work or whatever, go play a game, play a few things, not have to worry about like, oh, I can't beat this boss, I'm gonna have to go grind.
That's why I'm terrible at Souls games,
So it's like you just want to go and play a few hours, get it completed, and go to the next one, and you're like, okay, I'm done, and do it. So
I've loaded up this Xbox one. This one doesn't have the price, but
we'll talk about the price after. These are the two versions of the handheld game.
Nobody's ever seen this trailer. But pull it up as we're talking. For whatever reason, it doesn't even work.
I kind of respect that. The PlayStation 4. I mean, it looks cool, but
the ROG or the ROG part?
Yeah, native.
I think it's fine, but the problem is, what you want to get it there for?
Your Xbox is go. Like, they're not showing the intention, they're just showing us the gameplay. Elden Ring or maybe they show Expedition 33, but it doesn't show it playing on it, so maybe it can't even play it. But see, it shows the two versions, 24GB memory and a 22.
Microsoft and Asus have just unveiled the flagship ROG Xbox Ally X, coming this holiday season.
Yeah, it might be delayed.
It says it's exit full screen.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Just leave
All
it.
right, I'll exit out of these ones. Go back to my Octopath
Yeah.
Traveler. But what's interesting to me though is, so I pulled it up for the. Now, is it the ROG or the ROG? We'll call it the ROG, but the ROG Xbox Ally X is predicted to cost between $750 and $800.
Yes.
While the ROG Xbox Ally non-X may be priced between $499 and $599. So, like, what do you think? So the Ally X features AMD Ryzen Z2 AI Extreme chip, 24 gigabyte RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and an 80 WH battery. While the ROG Xbox has this Z2A chip, 16 gigabyte RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD, and a 60 WH battery. So both models share 7-inch 1080p, 120 Hz display, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth, and run Windows 11 in handheld, the first Xbox interface. So what do you think about having the Ally X? It's predicted to be $750 to $800, and then the regular one. So that's a $600 and $800. What are your thoughts on paying that much just for a handheld?
The cheaper one only has 16 gigabytes of RAM. More expensive one has 24.
But my thought is it's a handheld for $800. Like, why am I paying $800 for a handheld?
Well, if you look at it, 1 terabyte of SSD, so that's pretty much what a console has for storage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good for a handheld. But the problem I have is like what you're saying, like the price of how much it costs, because I can then buy a cheap laptop or PC and then play my Xbox games on that.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes it? I mean, I think this maybe appeals to the people who travel a lot. Maybe you want to. You're a big Xbox fan.
Big Xbox fan on that.
But
here's my thought. I can buy a PS5 handheld for $200, and then a digital version of the PS5 if I wanted to for around the same price.
Mm-hmm.
And I can buy both of them and play my PlayStation on the go.
And then rumors are with the PS6 that just got released with the specs that they're coming out with their system and their handheld. Supposedly the PS6 is going to be the same price as the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about $599 or whatever. They didn't say how much the handheld's going to be, but I would say roughly around maybe a little bit cheaper than what the console will be. So maybe let's say like $399, $499.
Mm-hmm.
And if that does the same thing, basically like how this Xbox thing is, then Sony's pretty much destroyed Microsoft.
Is there a market for handheld? Because the Switch does it and they do it perfectly. Mm-hmm. But it seems like, because you got to think, like, the PS3 tried to chase the trend of the Wii with the Move. Same with Xbox and Kinect, and they failed both of them there. And now you look, they're trying to like chase the Switch with handheld and home console. And I don't see how successful, because my whole thing now is, one, PlayStation has never been a handheld market, so it's kind of hard for them to get into the handheld market.
They were with the PSP. They were really popular with the PSP. Then when they brought out the Vita, the only reason why, in my opinion, the Vita failed is because the more expensive version required you to have a phone plan.
Mm-hmm.
And most kids at that time weren't going to have a phone plan, because their parents are like, you already have a phone plan with your phone. Why am I going to add another thing that I got to go pay monthly for it? So if they just went in to the market without even having that version, that would require you to have like AT&T or whatever phone company, and they just had that base model where it was just Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi and cellular data, then that Vita probably would have lasted.
Yeah.
But also the problem with a lot of the Vita ones was that they weren't having either a Vita exclusive games or having it where basically, because
like the memory cards were expensive.
Yeah, the memory cards were expensive, and that was also a problem too. But like with the PSP, they had like their own version of God of War, their own version of Sly Cooper, like all that kind of stuff, Ratchet and Clank, like that, and eventually like it got ported to like the PS3 and stuff like that. But if they had just their exclusive games, I think more people would have bought it. But what the problem was with the Vita is, oh, it's the same version as the PS3 version, so you could do so. Most people are going to be like, oh, I'm just going to buy the console because I already have the console. So why am I going to buy?
But the thing is, like, so this Xbox One, is this their new console or is this just their new handheld?
No, it's just a new handheld.
So then, can I take this console, like, hook it up on my new Xbox?
No.
Charge it, play it from there, and then like. So are they going to give me a Joy-Con?
They can't because Nintendo has that patent. That's why Sony and Microsoft has to have console handheld separate because they can't put the two together because Nintendo owns that patent. And so that's why the Switch was super popular.
That's why I think this struggle
because you can play it at home, hook it up docked, and then take it with you.
Because if you look at the PlayStation Portable, they can have my interface and play my games, but they're pushing more of the PlayStation Plus. So when I go to the PlayStation Plus, they only want like a select few games. I can't play my whole catalog of games. I can't download my games. Like I can't, if I just wanted to go download my game on the go, play it, and then the battery life for that, it's like I have mine. I don't play it as much because I gotta update it. I gotta charge it. Like there's so much I gotta do just to be able to play it. And then if I just want to lay in bed and play it, then it's like it's so big that I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'll just go out and go play.
The Switch is big as well,
but the Switch isn't big enough to the point of like that PlayStation 1.
The only problem I have with the Portal is that I feel like I'm gonna break the damn screen because it has the controller. And then this big screen, I feel like it's going to break.
It would have been cool if you could take off the controller and put it as a DualSense. Like, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but they can't.
Yeah, no,
Nintendo
they can't.
Owns that,
but that's where it would have been costly. But I think the reason why, too, like, PlayStation will struggle with their handheld and Xbox is because they're not a market of handheld. Whereas Nintendo has perfected it. They've made it, they've had a proven track record of with their Game Boys and things like that to be able to show that they can do a handheld and a console. Nintendo, but PlayStation and Xbox hasn't had. Like when was the last time you saw an Xbox Mini or something? Like you have.
This is the first time that they're trying to go to it.
So I don't think
this ain't even their official console. This is made by that ROG.
I think they're jumping into trends right now and.
Well, with the new Xbox system coming out, they're also going to have a handheld as well, like PlayStation 2. But also, when we're talking about the handheld market and stuff with Nintendo, is they can't do anything else now. Because the Switch 3 is going to have to be the same thing, and they're not going to really be able to innovate. So now, Nintendo pretty much has...
They're just stuck with
They're stuck with that thing there, especially if they're going to do that
console generation.
Yeah, especially if they're going to do the handheld and continue to do the same thing. They're stuck with it. So now they're not really going to innovate as much because if they do, people are going to be like, "Well, I like my Switch one," and then it's going to have to always be backwards compatible because people are going to be like, "Hey, I don't like this way there." So Nintendo will never really get to be a super powerhouse of having like so much data or anything like that to be like the number one in the market. I mean, they're already number one by selling their system, but also their system is a lot cheaper than PlayStation.
But you also got to think who Nintendo's usually directed towards is the kids, and the kids are going to be playing Fortnite.
But again, Nintendo has pissed off a lot of people right now with the Switch 2 with having it.
I don't
with the digital cards.
Yeah, but I don't think it changes because like I want physical media, but at the end of the day, like we're still spending the money on Nintendo stuff. So at the end of the day, unless like somebody like me as a consumer says, you know what, I'm never spending money on it. Somebody else is going to spend twice as much to be able to get what is needed. So
and then so segue to the next topic is. So the second quarter of PlayStation sales came out, and the top games for the PlayStation for sales wise were Xbox games. So if you look at it, their Xbox is making more money than PlayStation right now with their top games being sold. But that also proves then that there's no longer a console war generation.
No.
And there's no longer where Microsoft can validate themselves as being like number one in the market or being a console exclusive gaming company or anything like that, because they're gonna just because they made all this money off of the top 5 selling PlayStation games that are Xbox, that they're gonna continue to keep doing that. And also rumors are around that Sony's gonna start doing that. So Sony's gonna start.
They did that with Helldivers.
Yeah, well, Sony's gonna start putting like God of War on the Switch and on Xbox and like the Ghost of Yotai and stuff like that, which technically they already have by putting it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many like hurdles you have to do if you wanted to play. Like when Helldivers 2 came out and they brought that to PC, they had it where you had to sign up for a PlayStation Network account and then do all this backdoor. Mm-hmm. Now what they're going to do is get rid of that whole requirement, and you can just outright play it. So there might be in the future of Sony, kind of like Microsoft, where you download the PlayStation Network app, and then you can get your games and stuff like that and play it on Xbox and play it on the Switch.
Okay, so here's what I pulled it up on my phone. Here's a list of the top 10 games. Forza Horizon 5 was number
Microsoft.
1. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered.
Microsoft.
MLB The Show 25.
That's multiple.
I'd say that was the first one that's basically a Sony exclusive.
Sony Studios, because they got bought out.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
That Microsoft. I mean, it's Microsoft owned, but that one was already agreed upon before they bought it.
Doom: The Dark Ages.
That's
Microsoft. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Definitely Microsoft.
Minecraft.
That is owned by Microsoft. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That one there's Ubisoft. That's the only one that's
Grand Theft Auto 5.
That's owned by
WWE 2K25.
That's owned by.
So you got to think. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in the top 10 that are that were sold on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And how many of these are PlayStation exclusive games?
PlayStation has some exclusive games, but not in the top right now. Once like Ghost of Yotai comes out, and
you got to think too. There's expected to be coming out soon is the new Gears of War,
which I can't wait.
Senua's Saga Hellblade 2,
that game's horrible.
And then they're also working on a Halo and a Starfield. Like that isn't good. You're basically waving the red flag, the white flag, saying, "Oh, we give up. Like we want our games." I remember back in the day, it was, "Hey, you want to play Halo? Get an Xbox. Play Halo." Like you don't see that anymore, and I feel like Sony's not going to dominate the market. I think Xbox is slowly going to be like more Sega, where they're just going to, we're going to be a publisher instead of an actual console anymore, because they lost the market so bad. But I think that they can I think they could recover in 2 ways. One, pricing of their games. I think if they said, look, PlayStation and Nintendo, they can price their games at $80. We're going to keep them at $70. And then 2, I think if they did I forget the second one now. It was pricing, and then there was going to be one more. Oh, if they push more physical. I think because the physical market is dying out, I think that they can push more physical. But I know that they're pushing more of their subscription. So that's where I think they're going to... that's where they fell, because I think that subscription because you think that subscription's more expensive than PS5. And according to some, big names, they say it's been successful.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to see like somebody who has been saying, like, convince me to just jump straight over to Xbox to say, just play Xbox, play their Game Pass. Because I have the digital version of the Xbox, but I don't play it enough to where even with I downloaded a couple games just to try them, and I'm like, let me go back to PlayStation. So
yeah, but what made Game Pass successful is that when they bring out their game, it's day one on Game Pass. Sony refuses to do that because they say that loses money revenue for the publishers, which could be true, but also you can negotiate in the contract on it.
But think about it. One of the things that they said, which I agree, is if, like, let's say God of War Ragnarok, for instance, if you release that game and a year later people are still buying the game, why am I putting it on for free? If they price dropped it to, you bought it at 70, and they price dropped it to 45, and you're still buying it at 45, like, they're still making money off of it versus them having to do the subscription model. What they'd be able to factor in their price. Like, if you're still buying it at $45 because you discounted it after 2 years, like, yeah, don't put it on your network because people are still buying it. It's at that point when you're trying to push the game because the sales haven't been quite like where it's at, and then all of a sudden, you put it on there and then everybody plays it again.
Yeah, but
that's what
Microsoft is trying to do is to get more people to buy the Game Pass over buying a physical game. Because if it's day one on there and you already have the Game Pass because that's required for you to play online, then you're pretty much getting your free games on there to go play.
But there's not enough. Like, you got to think, if they put, they were supposed to put the Call of Duty games on Game Pass, like all the classic ones, and they never did.
That's because Sony fought for it,
and they never did. So it was like, for me, if I wanted to play like the old school, I think, you know what, I take that back. I think they did, but it was like very limited. Because for me, if I wanted to play Black Ops, for instance, why can't I download the classic one, go play Black Ops?
Can't you put the disc in and play it?
Not on my Xbox. Okay. You could backwards.
So they fixed it.
But the thing is, though, when they made that agreement, they were going to put all the old school Call of Duties on Game Pass, and then be able for you to be able to play it. Like, for me, who like the old school Call of Duties, why not play that? Now I downloaded the newest one, and I haven't even been going to go play it because I'm like, I want to play Octopath Traveler and like stuff like that. But what is it? Something that would convince me to go and play it? You know what would is if you actually had a good first party game that you're pushing to be able to, like, let's say, for instance, I wasn't a big fan of the game, but the Spider-Man 2. Like, if you had an exclusive like that, and if I took that and put that on Xbox now, like, you basically gave up. I don't like this whole put your games on every console to play, because I think competition breeds a lot better product. So you need competition in order for you to be able to, come up with something good. Like I think of how you have your energy drinks here. At one point both of them were competitors, and now they're not. So it's like, you got to be more innovative, to come up with new ideas, to come up with, maybe you want to get in an RPG market or something, like, come up with new ideas. You need to be able to have competition. If I'm just giving my games out to everybody, not having competition, you basically gave up. I think, well, that's where they're going. I
don't think like, competition is good, and I agree with competition on it. But what Microsoft is doing is trying to make it where it's on everything, so you can go and have it on there. And so when they did their original Game Pass, where you can get the games for them for your try, which made it better, because then you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I like this Madden game. Instead of paying $70 to play this game, I can test it out.
And that's what's good.
And so that's what's good with it.
But
the EA if they don't put it on their Game Pass and you have to go buy it physically, then that's when the sales of it's going to lose, because what they're trying to do is put everything on their Game Pass. And what would make them smart is if they put everything on the Game Pass, but then lower the price of the physical games. Because then, because Game Pass is just going to keep getting expensive.
Or vice versa.
No.
Lower the price of your digital games.
No, because digital, they're not going to do it because they get full value.
Because if you want to do more physical copies, like, if people are going to want more physical, it costs more. Like, you have to get 100 pre-orders to be able to make your money back. So that's why it should be more higher for physical if you want it. as if more people get together. Like, I think
No.
that if they have a popular game and they want a physical copy, I think they need to say, like, we need X amount of pre-orders and you could get it at this price. That's basically what they would have to do.
I don't think that that's smart. I think what you need to do, like I was saying, is you raise the price of the digital one, lower the price of the physical one, because eventually what Microsoft is going to just do is keep raising the price of the digital ones of their Game Pass and keep raising it where that's going to be the only model, and then if they lower the prices of the physical game, that's going to be lower and less and less and less, which then forces you to buy Game Pass because most of the games anyway you have to have Game Pass to play online.
Mm-hmm.
So if they raise it, like let's say it's like $200 right now, if they raise it to $300, yeah, you're going to complain like, oh, this is expensive up on there, and oh, that's ridiculous. But then you're like, oh, I'm not going to get the game there. I'm going to buy it physically. You're paying less for physically, but in actuality, you're paying more because you still have to pay for the Game Pass. There's not like a low tier Game Pass anymore where you could just buy that and then get to play online, kind of like how PlayStation, where they have the lower plus one where all it is for you to go online and you get games a little bit, but you don't get like the classics or anything like that. So if they went that model where their Game Pass raises up in prices every so many months or years or whatever like that, but their physical game starts to deteriorate and they can have like less physical game but at a way cheaper prices, then they're going to see a lot of people buy these physical games, but they're still subsidizing for the Game Pass for it. Because if they do the opposite way, then Game Pass is not going to look plausible for it because they're already pretty much giving their games out for free on Game Pass, but really they're paying for each of those games because you're paying more for Game Pass. So I think that's the thing there. With Sony, I think it's smart for them to do it where they'll put their first party games on like 6 months afterwards or 6 months to a year after it's released physically. But I also think though that they need to focus on their most expensive PlayStation Plus because they don't really, doesn't seem like they're giving that much value for it. I mean, yeah, maybe what they could do is if they want to do it like Xbox, or maybe with a more expensive pass, they can put out their first party games onto it, and you can experience it there too. Or what they could do, which I don't see Microsoft doing, is maybe releasing it on their network for an exclusive amount of time. So maybe like if, let's say this Octopath Traveler 0 comes for the PlayStation Network for 1 month. So if you have the most expensive patch, you can play Octopath Traveler for 1 month, and then after that, it's off the network, and you have to either buy it digitally or physically on there in order to continue playing the game, and it won't come back on there until 6 months or 2 years or 6 years, and then they put it on their network for free. Like something like that, I think would be good there to entice you to buy. Oh, well, if I get this pass or this network, whatever there, I get to play this game here, and then I can try it out. Because the problem with this now is they don't release demos for all these games. You can't really try it to see if you're even going to like it, because just seeing a trailer doesn't necessarily mean that the game's going to be good. It could just be that they made a good trailer and draw you in, and then now you're paying $80 for a game that wasn't even that great. And if it goes all digital, or like the game cards, like how Switch is doing, GameStop is going out because GameStop's not going to be able to sell their physical games anymore for it. Or what it's going to be is physical games are going to skyrocket to like super high prices where they're not going to last because they're not going to be able to take games.
And then why would people buy those unless you're a collector?
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to buy those games because you're going to be like, well, if it's $50 on digitally and you're selling it for $200 because there's physical games are going off late, like you're not going to really buy it for 200. You're going to just pay the $50 on it because not everybody's doing all the money for that one. But
I think that's it, right? That's what we were talking about today.
So where can everybody find you?
So Robert Wheeler Gaming. Might do weekly news segment. I also have collection videos where I show off, new pickups I got or my favorite RPGs from my collection, something like that. I've been trying out, different new series, different things to talk about, but also a lot of PlayStation JRPG related content is what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, that's me. We'll check out the next news one in this Friday.
Well, I'm Dark Knight 316, and this is the Roundtable Podcast. Also had a wrestling podcast that we just finished filming. That was our predictions for SummerSlam, which if you've already seen SummerSlam, then you can watch our video when it gets released to see if our predictions were correct or not, to see who's the new champion. Also have a loot box channel where I reveal the stuff that we've picked up over the time, which are like, cards, games, whatever on that. And occasionally, may have extra channels that come up on here. We try to promote each other's channels so that we can get more subscribers and stuff, because what we want to do is do like a live stream with viewers on there that we can play games together with them, or go and give giveaways and stuff like that.
And it also might be better not to do so early, so more people could get involved, but we just need to be able to, like, subscribe and be able to get the channels going.
So that if we could see that, like, if more people are interested in our content and they actually want more and more,
they want true gaming news, true gaming reviews.
Because if you look at the other podcasts, they talk about other stuff besides gaming, but they call themselves a gaming podcast.
We're talking about, if we're talking about gaming, we're talking about gaming. If we're talking about wrestling, we're talking about wrestling. We're not changing it to anything else. We're true gamers, and we talk about true gaming. Whether or not you're gonna give us a code Square to be able to play this, we're gonna give our honest opinion on it. So
because we're not trying to be sponsored where we're gonna have to promote. Like if a promoter wants us to promote the product, Monster Call, we're gonna give an honest opinion on it, and if they don't like it, then they don't need to be our sponsor.
This is how gaming. We need to bring gaming back like this, because you see a lot of reviews and things like that. Like, people played it. Oh, maybe they played an hour of it, and they got to do a review, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, your review is terrible because you didn't really go into a lot of this stuff. Or like when you're looking at the trailer, like for something like this, I like Octopath Traveler. I give you my honest opinion. I don't like the creation stuff. I don't like too much of the building stuff, but I'm gonna try it because I like Octopath Traveler. So if you want things like that, instead of me being able to say, oh yeah, this is awesome, you could create your character, you could do this, I'm like,
because those people, they want access to continue getting these games early, continue getting codes for it and stuff like that. Where you throw me a code on there, I'm gonna straight out tell you that I'm gonna give my honest opinion. If the game sucks, I'm going to tell my viewers this game sucks, and these are the reasons why. Now, it may not suck. Those reasons may not suck to you, but I'm the one that reviewed it early, so this would be my opinion. So, if everybody else is giving them a 10s and the game's not really a 10, I'm going to give you the honest opinion on it. I don't care if IGN gave it a 10 because they still want access to getting more games in the future. Like, I'm just going to give you your honest opinion on that. Because
that's how gaming's got to be again for reviews.
Because reviews there are mostly skewed because they still want access. If they give their honest opinion, they're afraid that then they're going to lose access to that company. And if that's true, then you could just tell the company, like, on your video, like, hey, I gave a bad review to this game. Now they're no longer going to give it to me because, they were hurt that this review got so many views because people wanted an honest opinion. Now, if you're a company and you're going to be hurt by negative press, then don't bring out the game. Don't be in the company off one of it, because you're going to have, in this industry, good reviews and bad reviews, and things that people don't like about the game,
Yep.
and things that people do like about it. Whether it could be minuscule of, oh, you changed Link's, cap green to a light green. Oh, that's not the original Link. Like stuff like that, people will do because they're used to the original, and stuff like that. So even with those reviews, like
so it's about giving honest reviews, and of course, for myself, by the time this game comes out, I probably won't have enough time to dive in and put in like 10-20 hours before I give a review. But I'll play the game and I'll give you my review once it happens. But that's the whole thing. Like I'll give you like I go back to Final Fantasy VIII, for instance. I give you my honest review. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I did not like 8. So it's like things like that to be able to review and say, hey, I've started going to Octopath Traveler. I'm enjoying it. But if this game's terrible, I'm gonna let you know this game's terrible. But so far, Octopath Traveler has not disappointed me. So I'm hoping this one doesn't. But
yeah, so that's all the news that we have for today. Hope you enjoyed this video and you actually stuck to the end.
Yep.
So like before, like and subscribe to our channel. We already listed out our channels and stuff like that. This was the Roundtable Podcast, episode 15. So, like always, never stop playing games and enjoy playing those games. And then, what else do you got to say?
Never stop gaming, guys. God bless you guys.
See ya. See you in the next one.
Have a good one.
Continue to come to the next one. Really.